we both care about each other in life, and we want to make sure that we're there for each other. And I believe that, or naturally, as you're getting older, they're not always going to be the same, and that's okay. But it's just more so about letting the other person know that you're there for them when critical time.
So you just moved to the Dallas area recently. What was the whole thought process behind your whole move here?
Okay, well, thought process, just kind of like, why not? I lived in another city and my lease was up. I used to live in Dallas when I was in high school, so it just made sense because I was still working from home. So that's what prompted me to move up to Dallas. And there's lots of opportunity in Dallas as well.
So you mentioned there's lots of opportunities in the Dallas area. So what do you do out here?
I currently do the same job that I was previously doing. I work as a quality engineer. So what that means is that I test products before they go on to customers. So I guess to give a little bit of a better description, I work for a pricing software company. So when you think about getting a ticket online, you see that the price is a certain price one day and then it changes another day. So we are on the back end configuring those prices. So my job is to find as many bugs and defects before they go to the customer.
You have an interesting job, and it's not really a typical job for a woman. So you're a woman in STEM. Do you find any challenges of being an engineer woman, or is it easier or is it harder?
I think initially coming in, there was a little bit of imposter syndrome because I studied marketing in undergrad, so I just came into this new space that I had no idea what was going on, and especially a lot of the verbiage. I'd be on calls and be like, what the heck are they saying kind of things. I'd be silent on a lot of Zoom meetings, and I also noticed that, I guess naturally guys, men, they project their voices more. Like if they have something to say, they'll just say it. So a lot of times, whenever I did want to say something, I found myself being quiet. Also, it is Zoom, so you don't know when somebody's about to speak. So I'd be literally on a call and I'd be like, and then somebody just jumps in and talks. But overall, I think I work at a good place. So they're really pushing for, I don't want to use the word woman empowerment, or I guess, is the word equalizing I don't know the word, but I forgot.
Equal rights?
Just balancing things out. I don't feel too much of like the male dominancy doesn't feel much. Like I do work on scenes like I'm the only girl, but it doesn't press me or I don't feel overwhelmed or anything. I don't really think about it. Maybe initially when I first did start coming in as a recent grad, I was thinking about it more.
Well, you made an interesting claim. You said imposter syndrome. So you studied marketing. Mm-hmm. How were you able to leverage your experience in marketing to become an engineer?
Mm-hmm. So funny thing, I worked as a scrum master with one of my friend's startups during undergrad. So that's a little bit of project management. So that exposed me to that space, like the software development space. So that's what really helped me to get this job. And initially I wasn't a quality engineer, I was a consultant. So the opportunity came up to be a quality engineer. So that's how I was able to get into that space. I do feel like it would have been more challenging if I went straight from marketing to quality engineer, but I was able to work as a consultant, so just learning the software and configuring just a little bit, so that helped overall with me transitioning.
Well, you're a pretty accomplished woman. You're an engineer, so what's your definition of success?
That's very broad, as like in life in general, or just me, I guess what I would consider success in my life.
Let's say we can do both, life in general, and then you can probably talk about yourself as well, like what makes you feel successful, if you feel successful.
Good question. I guess with success, if I'm to generalize it, I think success looks like making do with the time that you have. I don't want to get too deep and be like purpose, because even me myself after graduating, I'm like, what the heck is my purpose on this life? Like, what am I supposed to do? But I guess, like, let's say you have an idea or you're thinking about doing something, actually doing it, and not just laying back in life. So if there's something that comes to mind, or if there's something that you want to do or dreams, I say do it. And I don't want to just say like, oh, climbing a career ladder so you can make all this money, but just what makes you happy, what matters to you, and focusing on that and doing that. But I guess I'll have to think more about what success looks like. It's a good question.
Well, do you feel a lot of people generally feel or think they're successful, or
Maybe they think they're successful because society tells them that they're successful. And when we say think about success, we think about maybe the Bill Gates, so it makes it seem like it's this big thing, like it's so far. And I think a lot of like my generation, when they say success, they're thinking about, oh, being a Forex babe or getting all this money or just showing their crypto and all that stuff. But that may not be necessarily what success is. I mean, some people's success is seeing their kids graduate, maybe helping their parents after their parents have worked so hard for them. So it's really what matters to you. Like, what do you want to make of your time? Hope that makes sense.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. So do you feel people that are generally successful, is it linked to their happiness? So let's say someone's successful, does that make them happy automatically?
Not necessarily, because you have people who develop companies that help people, or they just do so much on this earth, but whenever they go home, they're sad. So I wouldn't necessarily equate success to happiness. And happiness also could be a decision, or happiness sometimes depends on happening. So maybe the question is, do they have joy in their life?
Friendship. Define friendship, or what is a friendship to you?
What is a friendship to me? I say a friendship is a form of a relationship. I don't want to use the word mutually beneficial, but I definitely believe that it's a two people. Two people are part of it. Two people who care about each other, who are intentional with the friendship. That's something I've been learning a lot about, intentionality with friendships, because they're a form of a relationship.
When you say intentional, do you mean like 50-50? Someone's doing favors for a favor, or do you just mean?
No, not necessarily. I think if you start to look at a friendship as a 50-50 thing, you start to come and check boxes and be like, okay, I called this person this day. It's their turn to kind of call me. But just more so as in, like, you both understand that we both care about each other in life, and we want to make sure that we're there for each other. And I believe that, or naturally, as you're getting older, they're not always going to be the same, and that's okay. But it's just more so about letting the other person know that you're there for them when critical times come. But it doesn't always have to be when something big happens, but just more so that we are here for each other when needed, or when not needed, just to talk randomly.
So would you say friends are kind of family to a certain extent? Like, you care about each other, so there has to be some type of deeper connection over than, oh, that's just a friend.
It depends the kind of friendship it is, because I've learned to also categorize friendships, because if you also start to look at this friend as a family member and they don't really see you as that kind of person, and they expect, or you have this expectation out of them and they don't reset, then that's when you see people on social media saying, oh, I'm gonna cancel this person or cut this person. It's just more so, did you even understand the dynamic of that relationship? But I do believe you can have friends that reach the level of family, but not all friends can be in that category.
All right, you had friends in middle school, high school, and even college. How many of them are even your friends today?
I guess maybe because I recently graduated, maybe about like a year and a half ago. But also the thing about me, I know people, so that's also something I learned, like, oh, hold up, these people aren't necessarily friends, they're acquaintances. So I learned to categorize and be like, okay, I know this person, if something's ever up or I'm in their area, I can hit them up kind of thing. But I would say I have maybe, I don't want to name the number, about 4 close friends, or 3 like genuinely close relationships that they even know like my family members. But everyone else, I'd say I'm cool and I understand the level of the friendship, so I feel like I'm fine when it comes to friends, and I'm also okay with myself. So just to add to that, it was like 7th grade when this thing happened with one of my friends, and my mom was like, oh, you can't be this person's friend anymore, yada yada. So I've kind of learned, when if it ever comes to the situation that someone did me wrong, I won't be surprised. Of course, if a friendship ends, it hurts, but I've always set myself up in the situation that I'll be okay at the end of the day. God forbid somehow I don't have any friends, unfortunately, but I do have friends, and I'm intentional with them and it's genuine, but I don't think I try not to ever put myself at a loss that if I didn't have people, that I just become this person that's just sad.
Do you feel like most women generally think that they're beautiful?
What a question. Unfortunately, I'll say no. I think things are getting better nowadays with, I guess, women empowerment. But then also it's tricky because you do see a lot of like, this is the type of body you're supposed to have, and then social media. So for now, my answer is no, that maybe most women do not see themselves as beautiful, but this is just very, very general. I don't want to say this is everyone, but if I was to guess, I would say no.
So you have a YouTube channel. Tell us about it.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is called Just Adulting. Just Adulting. You can look that up on YouTube. Honestly, it's a hobby, so I would not call myself a YouTuber. I graduated about like a year and a half ago, so when I was about 5 months out of graduation, I was like, why not create a YouTube channel just to talk about my journey and experience of postgraduate life, especially during the pandemic. So I have various videos talking about apartment hunting, apartment tips, life after school, what are friendships, even like a tutorial, not a tutorial, but what was that video? A tooth video, if anybody wants to whiten their teeth. So just lots of various topics on there.
There you have it, guys. All her stuff will be down in the description. Check out her channel, it's pretty cool. That's how I found her. She has a nice YouTube channel, so
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.